In January on Roanoke County Today, we look back at some of our favorite segments from this past year. Happy New Year from Roanoke County Today.
Welcome to Roanoke County Today. We begin the show this month talking with new County Administrator Tom Gates. Tom, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
We're glad to have you here. I know you've been with the county for a couple of months now.
Actually, just over a month.
Just over a month. Okay, great. Well, we are so glad to have you, and I know you've been busy since you've been here, but tell us a little bit about your experience. What's your background?
Well, 2015 is my 30th year in local government.
Great.
And I've had the opportunity to work for a number of local governments during my career. I think Roanoke County is the 7th local government that I've worked for.
Good.
So I have a very long local government experience. I've worked primarily in city and county management, but I've also had spent some time working in budget and fiscal planning, a little bit in economic development and strategic planning.
Okay, so you bring a wealth of experience to the county.
Well, I bring a long history.
Well, talk about your priorities since you've been here.
Well, most of what I've been doing since I started is trying to meet with as many employees as I can. I think that's very important, and I've really wanted to try and get to know the employees of Roanoke County. I've also spent time working with my colleagues in the community, spent time working with the board. As you know, we had a board retreat in the middle of January, and now I've been working on the budget.
After we conclude with the budget process, I'm sure you're going to be looking at strategic plans.
Indeed.
What are those plans?
Well, the board has asked me to take a look at the strategic planning process and to bring back to them some proposals for how we'll develop a strategic plan for the county. We'll probably start that sometime in the middle of summer after we've gotten through the budget process. And I think it really needs to be a citizen-involved process. So I'm working with staff now trying to figure out exactly how we might go about that, how we get the citizens' input into the direction of the county. It's very important that they speak very directly to us about the kinds of things they'd like to see for their community so that we can then in turn build our organization to reflect their priorities.
Good. So it's very much the people's government.
It really is very much the people's government, and we use the strategic plan internally to try and orient all of the work that we do from a service perspective to achieve or yield the outcomes that the citizens have said they want for the community.
Okay. Also, now you have a family that came with you. It wasn't just you moving down to Roanoke County, but you have a family. So how are your wife and children enjoying things here?
My wife and 2 boys, of course, came with me. They are having a great time, love Roanoke County. My children have adapted to school very easily and are enjoying their new school.
Good.
It's like we've been here for a long time.
Good. And are you finding some special places in the county that you enjoy doing? We have a lot of hiking and greenways and whatnot.
Well, the weather's been a little cold for hiking, but yes, we've been out a few times and been to Explore Park, which is just a beautiful place.
Good.
We've done the obligatory trip to the Mill Mountain to the Star.
Oh, good.
And that was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed that.
Right.
But we've been doing a lot of time just sort of familiarizing ourselves with the area. And, you know, like I say, it's a great quality of life here. We're very pleased.
It is. Very good. Well, we are so glad that you are with us, and I know we're going to see you many more times on Roanoke County Today. We hope you'll join us as we go through the budget process and many other things going on in the future.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Joining me today is newly named Fire and Rescue Chief Steve Simon.
Oh.
Welcome to the show, Chief.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
I think you've been with us before in different capacities, so it's nice to have you on the show as our new chief.
Always welcome.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
I started out in fire rescue in Prince William County in the Northern Virginia area while I was going to college, and I sort of fell in love with that. I was going to paramedic school, and that's where I started my career. I stayed up there for a number of years, and when it was time to move out of that area, my wife now, she was my fiance, we moved down to the Christiansburg area, and I started with the city of Roanoke. And stayed in the city of Roanoke for a few years, and I came over to the county and started out as a paramedic firefighter and progressively worked my way up to the fire chief. So I'm very honored to be the new fire chief.
That's great. And what have you been doing within the fire department since you've been here?
Yeah, I've started, like I said, started out as a paramedic firefighter. I've worked at every station in the county in some capacity. I was promoted up to a fire lieutenant, and assigned to a ladder company, the old hook and ladder trucks that we have. We don't have them anymore. Fond of those. And then I was promoted up to a captain, and I was in charge of the EMS system and helped shape the EMS system as it is now, putting our first 24-hour units on, working with the volunteers for advanced life support units, and then promoted to battalion chief, and sort of stayed in the same role, but a little bit more responsibilities. And then as a deputy chief, I was involved with all the budget, hiring, our technical rescue team, our training. So had a lot going on throughout the last 13 years until I was promoted just recently to fire chief.
And talk about the community. I think community has
Yes.
been very important to you. What do you do personally within the community, and then what are you hoping the community will do with the fire department?
Yeah, I think the community is an integral part. The fire stations were all built based on a community system. A group of citizens came together in a certain community, said we need fire protection or rescue protection, and they built a fire station. Now that's where we're at now, but the challenge is the community hasn't been in our fire stations as much. And I'd like to open those doors back up. 9/11, with all the security issues, we sort of locked things down a little bit. Our decline in volunteerism, we don't have the membership coming out from the local community. For me, I'm active in the community from a PTA standpoint with my children, but I'm also very active in youth soccer and with one of the local soccer clubs, and work as a coach, seeing building character, but also I'd like the firefighters to be role models. They are role models for me. When I was growing up, I could ride my bike up to the fire station, I mentioned this before, and get my tires filled up. I went to the fire station because that was someone I could look up to and everything. And if you're ever in trouble as a young person, my parents always said, if you're in trouble, you go to the fire station and they'll take care of you. So for me, it's always just been ingrained into me, and I think we should be that way to the community.
Sure. I think that's important too. I know my children have been and taken a tour of the fire
Yes.
station that is near us, and that's important to them. So I know you're hoping to invite the community in more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great. Now, outside of the normal traditional services that Fire and Rescue provides, what else can you all do for the community?
Well, we have prevention programs that will come out, our people will come out, inspect your chimney. We're not going to do any modifications chimney, but we'll look at it in the fall to make sure it's safe to burn, in our opinion. We also have fall prevention programs. If some of our older residents can't install their smoke detector, our guys will come out, guys and gals will come out and install the smoke detectors for them. If people are having issues where they are unable to afford smoke detectors, we have a program that we can go in and put smoke detectors in some homes. So we do all of those things. A lot of times people just don't realize those services are available to them. So I
They're
appreciate
free.
Exactly. So I appreciate this information getting put out for them.
Yes, those are some great services.
Yes.
Good. What are some of your goals now that you're in place and you've hit the ground running? What are some of your goals the first few months?
I mentioned one thing. It's a new chief, so there's a lot of changes that might need to go on within the organization, because we've had one chief for many, many years, and now people need to learn who I am and how I like to lead the organization. As I mentioned, I think community is very important. Supporting the community is very important to me. So that's one of my goals, but also making sure the membership knows that they, volunteer and career, know that we are a good organization, and we are a good organization because they make it a good organization. So it's so important for them to be included and engaged so we can do great things within the community.
Good. Well, it sounds like you've hit the ground running and you have a lot of goals set for not just yourself, but the entire department. So we look forward to seeing more of you.
I appreciate it. I look forward to.
Great. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Joining me today is Alita Coleman, Chief of Emergency Communications for our Emergency Communications Center. Welcome to the show, Alita.
Thank you.
Glad to have you today. And behind us is what I refer to as the nucleus for our public safety. Anybody calling in to 911, whether it's for police need or fire and rescue need, it all comes through this center. And now there's a new way for people to contact 911, and that's by using your phone and texting.
Yes.
So you're going to tell us a little bit about some situations where people might want to text 911 as opposed to calling.
Well, Amy, some of the times that people might want to text us instead of calling would be in a situation where they're not able or they don't feel safe to actually call us. Maybe a domestic violence situation, an abduction, maybe they're put in a trunk of a car, or it could be another type of situation where maybe an active shooter case and they need to be as quiet as possible. Also, situations where the deaf and hard of hearing personnel or people that have speech disability that might need to contact us, and it would be better for them to text instead of call 911.
Okay, so this is really a needed service for our citizens. Gives
Yes,
them
it
another
is.
option.
Yes, it does.
Good. Okay. So what are some of the tips people need to know?
As always, even with the 911 voice calls, we need to know the location. That's the most
Sure.
important thing. Where is the offense taking place, or where is help needed? Also, when you're texting, just put 911 into the to field, or so it will come directly to us. 160 characters is what we use. We prefer they do not use slang or any type of abbreviations when they're messaging us, and to make sure that they know that it might take just a little bit longer for us to get back with them because we are typing versus talking to them.
It's something important for our citizens, and we're going to do a demonstration of how to place a call through texting.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having us.
The sound you hear, that is an incoming text. Here the screen is going to turn yellow. And I'm going to send a message to try to obtain their location. And currently now I'm just waiting on a response back from them. And I got an approximate coordinates for them, the latitude and longitude. Okay, and the person who sent the text did send their address, which is here, and it still remains yellow. And now I'm asking them, what is their emergency? And also, too, when I enter the coordinates into the CAD system, it will pop up on our CAD mapping, and it will show approximate locations to where the caller may be. And I'll send a message back to the caller, trying to figure out what's going on as to why they need EMS. And I'm also asking them, are they able to call in? Okay, the person responded back, they gave me their age and that they cannot call. And basically just going to continue to ask more questions, just as though that it was a 911 actual phone call.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me today is John Murphy, Zoning Administrator for Roanoke County, and Todd Moreland, who's a GIS Analyst for Roanoke County. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Glad to have you here today. We're going to be talking about a brand new app here in Roanoke County that, Todd, you actually helped design and is now being implemented. And it's a great new feature for citizens to take part in, and it's also making more efficient for staff as well.
Absolutely.
So, John, tell us a little bit about this app. What's it called?
Well, it's a zoning app. It's to report a neighborhood concern, which would consist of any type of zoning violation or code violation. We've had issues in the past with unlicensed vehicles and tall grass and debris and inappropriate uses of property. And these can all be reported now with our new zoning app.
So before, people were calling in or
Correct.
writing
They would
letters?
they would call, write, email, and we had an old system, and just like with technology, things evolve. And this is a very, very modern system that links to our GIS system. So it's very efficient for our staff. It's more user-friendly for the citizens as well.
Sure. And nowadays, everything is online. So if you can't do it online, then you need to rethink the way you do
That's right.
things. So
That's right.
we're keeping up with the times.
Absolutely.
Good. So Todd, tell us a little bit about this program. You have worked on it so hard with John and his staff, and kind of give us a demo on what it does.
All right. First, our app is accessible directly off of the county's homepage under the county spotlight. So when you go into the app, it looks like a typical form that you may see, but as John pointed out, this is linked to our GIS, which means that it is map-based in the end, so that you don't have to worry about knowing the exact address of a place. So starting off at the top of the form, just to do a demo, we're going to choose tall grass, and which I'll give this a name.
That's one of the top complaints we receive in the county, isn't it?
Correct.
And in this form, the only thing that you have to fill in is the concern that you wish to report. All the other fields we would like you to fill out, but they can be omitted if need be. And the only other mandatory field is that you have to select a location in the county. There are several ways of doing this. The first way is to type in an address if it is known, and as you start to type an address, it actually validates against the county address system, which helps ensure that when you submit a concern, that it's actually going to be linked to the proper location.
Sure. Okay.
And let's say that I only know my own address, but I need to report a concern that's down the block from me, is once you type in an address, you can then grab the marker on the map and drag to another building to where the complaint may actually be. So I'm going to leave it on our building for our test. And once you submit the form, you get this confirmation page that gives you a case number that you can actually use to verify your concern both online, or you can use it and call in to us. And we have a link here to the status checker. So 24 hours after submission of your concern, you can then use this number online to check the status.
So this is a very efficient tool. What does your department think about this, John?
They're very happy about it. They're
sure.
spending more time in the field actually collecting data, doing field work, and less time in the office with the clerical type of activities. So it's actually created almost the ability to have additional people in the field with the same number of staff people. They have iPads that they're collecting data from, taking photographs, and then they upload it. And the neat thing about this system is the system automatically generates the letters depending on the type of violation each day. So the next day there's a stack of letters and envelopes that are prepared, that are ready to go out in the mail. So
Okay.
it's very efficient compared to what we were using previously.
Sure. And those letters you're referring to are letters from your office to that address
Correct.
where there had been a complaint, letting them know there's a violation.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, good. Well, this has really streamlined the whole process of work for you.
It really has. You know, originally we started with an online complaint form, and that was the first attempt at it, and that was in place for several years. But this new system is much more efficient, and it creates more accountability too. We have cross-checks within the system to make sure that things have been inspected within a timely manner, and that there's follow-up with the citizens when they click the box that they want to be contacted. So
And it also brings a lot of accountability back to your department as well.
that's correct.
That's always important to do.
Absolutely.
Always accountable to our citizens.
Right.
Well, this is certainly a great app. And tell me quickly, how many concerns have you received since this launched, the end of August, I believe?
End of August, we've had about 315 complaints that's coming in that short of a time period. So,
Okay, that's a good amount. So people are finding this.
Right.
It's great. So encourage everybody to visit our website and find out more information.
yes.
Great. Thank you both for being here.
Sure.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll be right back. On July 1st, the Roanoke County Police Department held their 25th anniversary community event. There were a lot of sights and sounds for people to see who came out. We hope you'll enjoy them.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Roanoke County Police Department. On July 1st, 1990, this organization was born. And there were quite a number of folks, and some of them are actually here with us tonight, that on that date changed from a sheriff's office uniform to a police department uniform and began this agency. And it's really no small feat to create a police department from scratch, which is exactly what these folks did. And they only had, as I understand it, 7 or 8 months to get it done. But they were up to that task. They put together an organization that has served Roanoke County very, very well for the last quarter century. I appreciate the fact that members of our community are here tonight and joining us to celebrate this. I hope that you'll take a chance to walk around and interact with a number of our public safety partners that are here and learn some things about crime prevention. The bottom line is, and I get this question sometimes as well, is the people that really matter in keeping a neighborhood safe are the people that live there. We have 157 people that work in this police department to cover 250 square miles 24 hours a day. We're not going to be everywhere. But people that live in neighborhoods are there, and they see what happens, and what they do impacts the safety of that community. And the fact that y'all are here and are willing to involve yourselves in crime prevention helps make all of us safer. And that's how we're going to continue to move forward as a police department, is working with you to keep your community safe and make sure that Roanoke County continues to be a great place to live. So again, I want to thank all of you for coming. I hope you enjoy the activities that we have, and there's some food around here someplace. And please let us know if there is anything we can do to help you or your neighborhood.
Yes, there is ketchup down here, sir.
Done.
Smile for the camera. Come here, knucklehead. There you go. Come here, knucklehead. Hey, Trigger. Hey, come here. You're on candid camera. A treat walked by.
Uh-huh.
Like, lean back. Lay down. Call him. Call her. So she's a little saucy meatball. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You're a good friend.
They're doing a great job. They always do. Brad Morton's the other one here. They're doing a great job. If you get a chance, come up and talk to them. Tell them what a great job they're doing. As I say, we've got the evidence collection demo right now. And then I'm going to check. We should be having canine demonstrations very shortly out back as well. But I'll let you know exact times for that. We got the bike rodeo out back. We got a lot of things going on for you. So just...
As you can tell, you can pull off the goggles and you can see how many cones he hit. He actually ran over the base of the couple boulders. I couldn't get where he was. Look over there. Look over there. That's the way Jason is. He's got a big toe.